So I'm recording this for my other group that's at home so I can post it for them. Yeah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be demoing Buddha bowls, and like I had said to you before, you want to make sure you choose one item from each of the different elements. As my base today, I decided I was going to use kale. Okay, hands up if you like kale. Okay, so some of you might decide kale, right? But you can use various different greens. So this will be what you line your bowl. So this is the bowl I'm going to be using. So you just have to, anything, there's a deep bowl could work as well. So I'll put some greens on the bottom. Put that aside. Okay, I'm just going to get my rice started. Tomorrow you're actually going to be making a fried rice tomorrow. So you're actually going to be doing this. The first step that you're going to be doing tomorrow is making rice. Okay, and for the rice, you're going to be using equal amounts of rice and water. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. I believe you're using white rice though tomorrow. I'm using brown rice today. So for my recipe, I need about a cup of complex carbohydrates. So I've chosen brown rice. Okay, so I need to measure my rice out. I need about a half a cup, because a half a cup of raw rice is going to make 1 cup cooked. Okay, so I'm just going to measure this out. Should be about a half a cup here. So, okay, so I'm going to add the half a cup to my little pot. And I also need a half a cup of water. So I filled this. I'm just going to bend down, check it at eye level. And it has reached the graduated mark of a half a cup. So I'm going to add that in. And then you can add butter for taste or salt as well. I always skip that because I don't add extra fat. But you could, about a teaspoon. So I'm just going to turn that on. Okay, Tiana. Anything that you want to share? Like what's so funny? Okay. Do you need to maybe just go to the washroom for a minute? Okay, so I just turned that on high. Okay, and when it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down to low for about 5 minutes until all the water is absorbed. Okay, so again, I turn that on high. If you put the lid on, it'll always come to a quicker boil. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get my ingredients all kind of ready. So I've got some cucumber I'm going to use today. I've got some carrot. Okay, so for my carrot, I'm just going to slice up my carrot. And just to add more visual appeal, I'm going to cut my carrot on an angle. Okay, so I'm going to do some nice slices, but I'm going to angle them because I want to add visual appeal. Okay. Okay, just make sure that your fingers are out of the way when you're using the chef's knife, if you use one at home, okay? I'm also going to add some some cucumber. I just washed this. I'm going to leave the skin on because it adds some extra nutrient and it also adds color. So I'm just going to slice the cucumber, some nice thin slices. Okay. Should be good. Okay. What else am I going to do? I've got some tomatoes. So I'm going to slice these up. Maybe just half them actually. I'm just going to half them. Okay, so keep in mind when you're thinking of ideas for your bowls at home, you want to think of color. You also want to think of shapes. You want to use a variety because it's more visually appealing. So again, I've got oranges. It would be really boring if everything was green, right? So I've got some orange, I've got some greens, I've got some reds. Okay, I'm going to have yellow as well. So I'm going to use about a half a cup. This is my protein, chickpeas. Chickpeas are really healthy, really good for you. Great in salads. Okay, so it's come to a boil. So I'm going to turn that down to a sim or low. And I'm going to let that boil for about 5 minutes. Okay, so the rice is really quick. So I need about a half a cup. So your dry measuring cups. It's over here. Now, if you were going to use a meat, you might decide to, if you've got some leftover chicken, maybe some roasted chicken from the night before, or you might have some steak from the night before. Just make sure you use separate cutting boards, but because everything is plant-based today, I don't have to worry about that. Okay? Okay, I just want to show you how to chop an onion, because some of you might decide to, you're going to have to do this tomorrow as well, right? There's an onion, I think, in the fried rice. How many of you, hands up, cry when you chop an onion? Okay. Well, the reason that happens is because when you slice an onion, the sulfuric acid is released, which reacts with the moisture in your eye. So you can actually transfer that. Something that works really well for me is a cloth. So if I take a cloth and I rinse it under water, under cold water, and then I put it on my cutting board, it stops me from crying. Okay, there's other little tips you can use. This one works really well for me because it transfers to the cloth, so then you won't cry. Okay, some people immerse their onions in cold water overnight, and that seems to help. So just a little tip, if you don't want to end up crying, especially if you have makeup on, then your mascara and everything runs, and it's a big mess. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to properly chop an onion, but I'm going to ask Ms. Caldwell, if you don't mind, grabbing me a washcloth from the pantry there. Just because if I don't do this, I will be crying. Thank you so much. So, like I said, I just rinsed it under cold water. And then I'll just put it on my cutting board. Okay, so right now the onion is not staying flat. So in order for the onion to stay flat, you're going to slice off the ends of your onion. Okay, so that it sits flat. Okay, so this is the technique you would use if you were going to chop a whole onion. Okay, if you're slicing an onion, then we would slice it in half, and that would be different. But this is if you're going to chop an entire onion, which I believe you will be tomorrow. So I do want you to try this tomorrow. So as soon as you slice the ends, this outer layer should come off nice and easy, so you can discard that outer layer. Okay, so you're going to take your chef's knife, you're going to make sure your finger's out of the way, and you're going to hold that tight. You're going to slice through about 3/4 of the way one way. So 3/4 of the way you're going to slice through. Okay, then you're going to turn it because it's too close to my fingers. Okay, so I did nice little slices all the way through. Okay, now I'm going to turn that around, and I'm going to make slices about 3/4 of the way through the other way, but keeping my onion intact. Okay. All right, so see how I've got all the slices going one way and all the slices going the other way. So now I'm going to turn it this way, and when I slice through, I'm going to end up with these nice uniform pieces. Okay, and that is the most quickest and efficient way to chop an onion. Okay, because the last thing you want to do is do one piece at a time, right? Okay, now if you see any larger pieces, you can just go through it with the knife again, just to make sure you don't have anything large. Okay, any questions about how to chop an onion? Okay, so I'd like you to try that tomorrow. Okay, give it a try. If you struggle with it a bit, that's okay. And I didn't cry either. Try that. Works. Okay. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to add is some berries. I've got some raspberries. As well. I'm just going to check on my rice though. Okay, once the water is absorbed, it should be good. Just make sure the cover is on. Okay. Okay, I might just have that cool down slightly. Okay, any questions about what you have to do when you're at home doing this? Anybody want to share do you have ideas? Like, are you thinking about what to do? Yes. Has anybody already done this before? Like for supper? Oh, Brooke? Yeah. What kind? Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else? No? So this will be a first. Um, there are some, if you're not sure about combinations, if that's what you're struggling with, I did include a video, and there's some additional ones that you can check out as well if it's the combinations, because you may not know. So I'm going to use the hummus as my sauce. So I'm going to put like a dollop of hummus. How many of you like hummus? This is a red pepper hummus. Okay. Okay, so I can go ahead. So I'm going to put my rice on here. I'm going to do my veggies, my chickpeas, and then I'm going to put a dollop of hummus, and then I'm going to actually put a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and I've also got some black sesame seeds as well. And you can use the sesame seeds as a crunch, as an item for crunch. Okay, how many of you like sesame seeds? Yeah, so that could be an option for you as well. So I'll put these on top. Okay, oh, and the other thing I have is my raspberries, but I also have, you can use feta cheese to crumble on top as well, so that's another option. I'm going to put a little bit of the cheese. Pardon? Protein. Yeah, it's an additional protein option. So it would be like your second, for me it's my second item. So I'm using 2. Yeah, that's a good question though. So you could do feta, you could do Parmesan cheese, mozzarella, cheddar, any cheeses could work. But for my combination, I think feta works better. This is like a Mediterranean bowl. Yeah. Okay, so let's put this together. You could choose to do rice all over if you wanted to. I'm just going to put mine on the side here. And then I'm going to do carrots all over. So notice how, like, because I have 2 reds, I'm putting red on this side and red on this side. Again, you want to keep that in mind. And I think I'll do my hummus in the middle. A little bit of cheese. Just crumble it on top. Some sesame seeds. Drizzle some olive oil. And that's my football. Okay, and this is a Mediterranean with my sauces that I picked. Even my plant-based protein, it's more of a Mediterranean bowl. Okay, you might want to decide to do an Asian bowl. You could do, there's lots of different options, a Thai bowl, a Mexican one with some Mexican spices. So be creative. Any other questions? Yeah, you could do a salad dressing too. That could definitely work. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just clean up here. I'm going to get you guys to work on your infographic assignment, the Canadian cuisine infographic assignment. So you could do that, or you could brainstorm and see, like, do you have everything you need? And if you don't, then you might want to talk to me, okay?